PharmD Nation, some of us, or many of us, get to a point in our lives where we find that we hold too much cash than we know we should in our checking or savings account. It could be because we get a windfall from selling a home, or we, over the last couple of years, maybe have just accumulated more in a checking and savings account because it's easy and safe, and now you've gotten to a point in your life where you have to try to figure out what to do with all of this money because you know long-term keeping it in a checking or savings account that is paying relatively zero in interest is not the most appropriate thing to do. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 options you could pursue if you find yourself holding far more in cash in your bank accounts than you know you should. My name is Derek Delaney, founder and president of PharmD Financial Planning. So let's jump right in. The first tip is to fund your retirement accounts. If you could take advantage of a Roth IRA, taking money from your checking or savings account and funding a Roth IRA and making that contribution every single year could be very beneficial long term. Not only because it gives you the preferential treatment from a tax standpoint, but any contributions you make into a Roth IRA account, you can take back out penalty and tax-free at any time, at any age. So I know some people think of their Roth contributions as a way to extend their emergency reserve without keeping too much money in their bank account. The second option is to pay off debt. And I get a lot of people who go, hey Derek, if I pay off debt, that means I'm missing out on opportunities to invest that money and have it grow. Well, I like to tell some clients that if you think about paying off your debt as replacing maybe a more conservative position in your portfolio, it could relatively do the same thing. If you have student loan debt or a big car loan debt that you have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% interest on, replacing that debt with money in your portfolio or money you have squirreled away in a bank account could be appropriate as your more conservative bond-like position in your overall portfolio. So that's something to consider and maybe take a look at. And finally, the third option you could have if you find yourself with far too much money in your checking or savings account or wherever else it could be is to hold. Do you have short-term goals for that money that you think you're going to want to spend it on? And if you do, trying to get a better rate of return over a short period of time may not be that beneficial. Also, we are experiencing more volatility in the market, and we are at all-time highs, and the uncertainty of our economy continues to grow. Maybe you want to hold that money and wait for a pullback in the market before you invest it. So holding on to the money and keeping it safe in that checking and savings account could ultimately, depending on your certain situation, be the best thing for you. So if you find yourself with a lot of money in your checking or savings account and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with it, use those 3 options as a guide for you while moving forward.